Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's say that again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Miracle Center for Spiritual Living, 2653 South Taylor Road in the beautiful Cleveland Heights, Ohio. I greet you in peace, love, and joy. My name is Fran Daniels, religious science practitioner, and I will be your hostess with the mostest for today, okay? Thank you. Our affirmative quote: may we all be true benedictions to the churches in whose gardens we are planted, beloved. I'm afraid I'm not much like a tree, one says, because I feel so weak and insignificant. If you have the faith of a mustard seed, you are the beginning of the tree beneath whose branches the birds of the air will still find a home. And that's Charles Spurgeon. Our suggested Science of Mind point of view: Dr. Holmes writes in the Science of Mind textbook, page 626, his definition of regenerative: to give new life or vigor. I like that. Let's repeat that. To give new life or vigor. Upon further consideration, let us contemplate the following thoughts. Regeneratively is a profound spiritual principle that emphasizes the continuous cycle of renewal and growth. It causes us to see every ending as a new beginning, transforming challenges and obstacles into opportunities for personal and spiritual development. To fully enhance regeneratively, we must shift our consciousness toward sustainability, not only in our environment, but also within our own lives. Yes. Environmental sustainability teaches us the importance of presenting and nurturing the Earth's resources, ensuring that future generations can thrive. Similarly, personal sustainability involves caring for our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, fostering a lifestyle that supports long-term growth and fulfillment. This holistic approach requires us to adapt habits and principles that nurture our inner selves, much like how we care for the planet. Shifting to a mindset of sustainability means prioritizing actions that promote continuous renewal. It involves recognizing the value in self-care, reflection, and intentional living. By integrating sustainability practices into our only routines, we create a foundation for enduring resilience and adaptability. Spiritually, regenerative, I'm having a problem with that word this morning, invites us to embrace the cycles of life with grace and optimism, understanding that each phase holds potential for transformation. By committing to sustainability in all aspects of our lives, we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of renewal, fostering a deeper connection with the world around us and within us. And now, our musical selection, our invocation. My boss says we've got to invoke ourselves, okay? So I invite you to just simply become still with closed eyes and open hearts, open arms to receive the Spirit. We recognize the presence of God, the living Spirit, right here, right now, within these walls of Miracle Center for Spiritual Living. 2653 South Taylor Road in the beautiful Cleveland Heights, Ohio. We recognize this spiritual energy to move in, through, around all living things. Humans, insects, trees, the sky, flowers, all living things, because it's all God. And it's in this godness that we just relax and rest our energies and our souls in the presence of all this divine love. So knowing that God is in this place, expressing itself as perfect love, as perfect joy, as perfect peace, we recognize His service as a spiritual experience, dipped in love, dipped in joy, dipped in kindness. As I decreed that this morning's service is a spiritual experience. And without question and without any other suggestion, I claim this morning's service to be in divine order, an example of God in motion, God moving in God's plans. And if you're in agreement with the words that I've spoken, simply affirm with me, and so it is. So I let it be. Amen and amen. Thank you, Gilbert. Again, welcome to this house of God, to this joyous, peaceful, loving expression of spirit. As we move through our program this morning, we have a selection, a change is going to come by our dear brother Sam Cooke. Yes, thank you, Sam Cooke. For those of you in my age bracket, 39 plus, we remember all those protests and what have you. It's just amazing. It's been a long time coming, but a change has come. And now, without further ado, talking about change, we have someone, our sister in Christ, Reverend Leora Nash, live from California. Let's give her a big hand, please.
I can't quite say it as Fran says it, but good morning, Miracle.
Good morning.
How wonderful it is to be with you. And just watching and listening to Fran's introduction of today's service, I thought, a change is a coming. And as I watched the video, I thought, it may be that it's a different place, different individuals, but it's the struggle that Miracle Center has reached and achieved. And that is the movement from Buckeye to South Taylor Road. I think it's a beautiful, fitting imagery for all of us, for all of you to embody. And thank you, Fran, for that beautiful yellow outfit that you have on today, because it's gloomy here today, so I can see and feel the sunshine. So welcome, welcome, welcome into my world that has invited me to be into your world, and how pleased I am. So where to begin today? It's kind of interesting. The distance, maybe. My heart is there with you each and every Sunday. And yet I am here and you are there. So I'm going to try to bridge this gulf as best I can, and thank Reverend June and Jerry and the Board of Trustees and all of you for accepting my presence to be here with you today. So as we know, we are children of God, and that is something we must remember. There is a change going to come. Suffering endureth for a night. The saying suffering endures for a night is a variation of the more common phrase, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. This is found in Psalms 30.5. And it's for me, it's rather interesting, as the old saying, there's nothing new under the sun. Because when I read and I hear and reflect back upon certain passages of the Bible or comments that have been shared and told, maybe as some might say, words of wisdom that our grandparents may have shared with us or our parents, that all of a sudden the intention of the words come back. We may not always remember the exact words, but there's a resonant feeling within ourselves that just remembers, yeah, I've been here before. Yes, this is not new. Yes, the past is catching up with the present. So I believe that that's what this song today has meant for me, just simply embracing change differently. And we're doing that together. We're doing that in a very symbolic way. And certainly all of you there at Miracle can embrace and know the truth of this at a very deep level. So today I'm going to ask you not only to kind of contemplate the words that are chosen or selected that are spoken today, and even perhaps through the music itself, to listen deeply within yourself so that you're in touch individually with the meaning of the words. Words are just things, as Dr. Holmes would say. So, and when we move into the deeper intention of what we feel, how words resonate within us, we are regenerated. And Fran had trouble with the word regenerativity, and that's because it's a word that we tend not to reflect upon that often. But it is truly a relative word to use in today's message, in today's time. We are in the process of regenerating our thoughts, our feelings, our belief system, our location, our whole existence. And certainly Pope Francis has regenerated. He's regenerated him, not only himself, but through the words, through the actions, through the commitment of love. He has regenerated perhaps our thinking, moving it forward beyond the words that he himself has expressed, but that longing, that lingering within ourselves remembers what he has taught. So it's kind of interesting. So we truly are children of God. So we rise in an awareness of love. And I remember I was probably 4 years old, and I went to my mom, and very serious, I was a serious child. And I said to my mom, what does love mean? What is it really? And she put her hand on my shoulder and she said, Leora, love is a tickle around the heart that you can't scratch. And I still don't know what she meant by that. So it's oftentimes the words that are expressive for the individual that means something to them, but does not necessarily translate. So it is that moving within this, excuse me, the space of just Miracle Center. I just want to put it that way. Moving within the space of Miracle Center, being a part of the generativity that's expressed in word and action, symbolically the love that's expressed from one to the other, the love that has brought this beautiful center into place for you. It's all regenerative. Yes, and change is going to come, and it has come, and it will forever continue to unfold and come again. So love is the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. In terms of creation, birthing, giving something new, giving new life to a thought, to a word. The yellow dress that Fran has on today, the yellowing yellow color of the outfit that she has on today, giving it brightness, giving our intentions, our lives, aliveness. Ralph Waldo Emerson, whom I'm sure many of you are familiar with, and certainly I enjoy, has written Emerson essays. He writes, "Love is a synonym for God. It's another name of God. In the New Testament is written, He that loveth not knoweth not God. For God is love. God is love. We are that which God is. Therefore, we are love. Love is free from condemnation, even as it is free from fear. Fear not, little flock. Fear not. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Even though I've done some kind of quoting within the framework of the statement itself, if you choose to quote me, look at your Science of Mind textbook on page 608. Dr. Holmes uses those very words. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Love is free from condemnation, even if as it is free from fear. Love is cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. So let us understand. And understanding is something that a minister friend of both Reverend June and I, we had a class, creative thinking, with her, Reverend Trailer, who's no longer on this planet. She gave us, we as students, the fact of, rather than just simply understand the outer expression of what appears around you, understand. Go within, see what the meaning of that intention is before you express yourself into the outer world, out into understanding what the greater world is all about. She said, a change is going to come. And I remember her saying that, a change is going to come, which meant that she was teaching us to know that a change would come within our individual lives. As we move deeper into the understanding and the study of religious science, of other faiths, of other truths, that we would shift and move. That one day, all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, and it happens continuously for all of us, I know that we wake up. We wake up and think, oh, wow, now I know. Now I know. We oftentimes can be asleep in our faith, in our daily living, going through the motions, and quite simply dead in our faith. How many times have we not done that? It just felt extremely disconnected, praying and hoping for some other miracle that would come along, rather than just simply stopping and knowing God and I are one. I can be patient in this moment. God has not forgotten me. I may have forgotten God for a moment, but I sit in this place of meditation, or that I sit in this meditative thought and process in my mind, so that I surrender, remembering that I am a child of God. The Apostle Paul uses this passage to cry out to the Ephesians to rise up as Christians. Take a stand for what is right. Speak out lovingly and live for what is right and true. It's kind of amazing when I think back, as I sit and read oftentimes and study the concepts within the Bible itself, how even though that was maybe 2,000 years ago or better or longer, or however you wanted to look at it, everything just kind of perpetrates upon the past. So the past is always pushing us. And it reminds me of the CSL theme in terms of fertilizing our purpose, fertilizing our growth, fertilizing, what does it say? Fertilizing our future. That's what it is, fertilizing our future. And knowing that that fertilization is always happening. It's just simply a word, but it's an action. It's a sense of coming up, a sense of awakening. And I've invited Laverne to come forward with a very deep reading, in my opinion, that I found in the daily living, living the science of mind. And she's going to read us a beautiful passage from page 42 to page 43. So let's welcome with a wonderful applause our wonderful Laverne Terry.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Blessings of this wonderful day. Well, everyone, get ready. Here we go. What is belief? Most surely, belief is a certain way of thinking. It is an activity of consciousness. Belief is a thing of thought. And being a thing of thought, we can change belief. And if what a man believes decides what is going to happen to him. Well, the most important thing for him to do is to regulate his belief so that what happens will be good for him and he will be glad to have it happen and joyously welcome it. What is most likely to change our belief from a negative to a positive viewpoint? What thought, what hope, what expression, what stimulus is most likely to change your belief? This Jesus established in the Sermon on the Mount when he said that the meek shall inherit the earth, that the peacemakers shall be called the children of God. In other statements, he showed us how to reform our belief so that it could partake of nature, of reality, and would contain within itself everything necessary for our well-being. This is also what the apostle meant when he said that we should think of whatsoever things are good, true, and beautiful. Faith is an affirmative mode of thought. Faith says, I can, rather than I cannot or I shall not. We can learn to have faith in abundance rather than in poverty. We can change our thought in regard to lack. This is what treatment is for. Instead of saying, there is not enough good to go around, we say, all the power there is devoted to my good. I am not afraid of poverty because all the power there is devoted to giving me abundance. God provides me with every good thing today, every day, always. Today, every day, and always. Such statements as these will change our belief from denial to one of positive faith. Whatever we can have faith in, and having faith in can understand, we may experience according to the law of cause and effect. This law is immutable, invariable, unassailable, and absolute. But someone might ask, is faith in lack equal to faith in abundance? The answer to this question is that there is neither lack nor abundance. As such, there is merely what is and the way it works. You understand that? We are so constituted that faith in love overcomes the belief in hate. Our nature is such that faith in life destroys our fear of death. Our nature is such that faith roots all fear all along the way. The great affirmations of life must of necessity destroy their apparent opposites. Nevertheless, we cannot overlook the fact that all statements are positive. All statements are affirmations. since each is a statement of one's belief in something. You got it? All right, and so it is. Thank you, Reverend Leora.
Okay, wonderful, Laverne. Thank you so very much. If I can master what Jerry and Chris have taught me about unmuting, I'll be okay. Oh, my goodness gracious. Here again, I'm inviting you to realize and to recognize the power of the spoken word. The words that we often utilize to express how it is that we feel, how it is that we think, what it is that we believe. All of that becomes as expression of how it is that we speak, how it is that we affirm life-giving for ourselves. And let's see, I want to go back here to a portion. Okay. All the power there is devoted to my good. I am not afraid of poverty because all the power there is devoted to giving me abundance. I thought about that line and I thought to myself, that is such a deep truth in terms of what we believe, how our orientation, how our thinking mechanisms, how it is that our pursuit of something greater has awakened within us to the point where we choose to follow the precepts, the principles of living through the belief in science of mind, knowing that a change is going to come. And that change comes from within us, about us, around us, not because circumstances change, but because we change in the midst of the circumstance. So when it is that we have what I like to call that stinking thinking, when we move away from our stinking thinking and we relax into not the problem itself, the issue itself, when we relax and move into the belief structure that God and I are one, it is not a matter of making some decision about what is God. It's a matter of how God relates to me within me. What spurs forth within me? What brings that sunshine, that sunny yellow? What brings that light into my life, to my awakening spirit? So that I too have the ability to just move forward. I may not know what I'm moving to or how I'm going to move. I just know I'm on my way up. I'm up out of, I'm up, I'm out of, on my way up from the doldrums that I feel have held me down. And we're the only ones that can recognize what has held us down because we surrender our power to it. It is a matter of inner standing, to know within what it is that I need to move forward, to understand so that I can make a difference. I can make a difference in my life. And when my life shifts and changes, it moves and recreates itself, regenerates itself. This body temple that I call self, and that's each and every one of us, that self that comes together collectively as a congregation, as a movement, establishing a vision and a purpose of how it is that our tomorrow will be. We actually move from Buckeye to where you are right now. You see, change is going to come. Change could hold us back at Buckeye, or change, when we tune into it, can move us. When it is that we need to move into the realization of a blessing. I oftentimes think, I think it was last week, that I saw a grandbaby there in the arms of a loving grandma. And I've been watching somehow or another. I've been really attracted to watching these animal series on Facebook of watching baby elephants and how they thrash around and crash around because they're so big and cumbersome, but how it is that they thrive and learn to thrive, how the lions in the wild thrive. And I know that that purpose is all about coming forth from where it is that they know nothing of, but yet there's that intuitive nature within, that intuitive nature that is within each one of us that says we're to thrive. We're not to die. We're not to die to our yesterday, to our circumstances. We are to be promotional. It begins when we turn to that inner self, to knowing there is nothing that God and I can't do together. There is a voice within me that speaks loudly if I but listen. So I tune away from that negative impulse, that negative pursuit, because it's attempting to be human through this character of a person. And I just say, peace, be still. And that peace is within self. That peace is within self, to allow that goodness, that richness, that fullness of God to come forth and to inspire. And we are to listen, not only with our ears, but with our heart, to trust that process, to trust that process. And I'm just going to regress a bit here in watching the birthing of elephants and tigers and cows and horses and even birds, hawks that have broken through the shell to come forth to be real. And I think about us as people, individuals that are born through a cavity, that come from a dark place, and that we're connected to our source until that moment that that cord is cut. That process that disconnects us from our source of our liveliness, of our aliveness. We are on our own to understand, to feel, to sense, to recall that sense of nurturing, to know when it is that we've been held and loved and cuddled and fed. We just instinctively know that. So why not accept that truth, that imagery, that connectedness that takes us from that inner chamber of being cradled to allow ourselves to come forth into life and to know that whatever it is that I am going through, I am specifically to go through, but the image of it, the power of it all is that God-centeredness is that there is a power that I can use to tap into to go through it. There are times when we have to cut our own cord. We cut our cord from within relationships. We cut our cord within behaviors. We cut our cord to addictions, whatever it is. You know, there's no judgment. It's just an awareness of what we must do because we have the strength and the power of God to do that. That's just who we are. We can't deny it. We can't change it. And when we wake up to it, to realize that there is a power within me and I can use it, as Pope Francis said, there is no death. We just simply transcend. And we just came through our Easter story. Jesus's physical being hung on the cross, but he said, Father, unto thy hands I commend my spirit. That living spirit is forever within us. It is forever within us. So we have a tendency, I'm asking that you develop a tendency to look closer and deeper within oneself, to take time to stop and, as they say, smell the roses, to take time and assess what is being regenerated within me. How can I assist me to move further into today's aliveness. You see, because aliveness is only through each and every one of us, through our senses, through our eyes, through our hearing, through our speech. So how do I connect with what I need to say that is reflective of this regenerativity that's happening within me 24/7, 365? Maybe 366 when there's a leap year. So anyway, it's so important to meaningfully rise in love, to understand, to grasp what is love. Just kind of pinch yourself and just say, ouch, that's love. Because when you pinch yourself, you're letting yourself, your senses know that you are alive. You are alive. You are born. You are independent. You are regenerating every time you think, every swallow of food and water, nourishment that you consume, every thought. You are regenerating your directive of your life. So there is something that's going to be created. That something is something that has never been before. So why not make it beautiful? Why not create that loving appearance of self to come alive, to be that wonderment of who you are, that's so individual, no one else in the world is ever like you. Even twins that are identical have some mechanism within themselves that destitutes who they are individually. So as a collective community, as a collective body of folks that are called Miracle Center, let us together that know that we are steeped in fulfilling the mission of the vision of Miracle Center, to one day be a separate standing place of worship where others can come and grow to know love of themselves, love of fellow human beings, love of community, just to know and love God. So Miracle Center for Spiritual Living is a religious science church, will one day celebrate the light of life shining as a glowing light, singing with joy and gladness that the living word is taught and caught in the heart and the mind of attendees. I ask you to believe that with me, because you see, you already have believed it. You've enacted it. And I want you to take it even deeper still and know that that chant is something that resonates throughout the entireness of your being. So therefore, we judge not who walks through the door. We judge not who walks out the door. But what we know is that what that individual that has walked in and walked out, as we individually walk in and walk out of our lives, that we are walking in and out of our inner sanctuary each and every day with every thought. The church, the building, is just that. But it is a miracle center. We are that miracle center. You are that miracle center. So with all the will of sense and knowing that a mighty works of creation, you see, we are creators. We are that child, that emanation of God itself. So we are creators. We are that love and security of not only our church home, but this church home, this home that is each individual. This is where love grows. Love grows both inside the walls, inside of us, of the establishment within the soul of the being that is Miracle Center for Spiritual Living. Truly, Miracle Center is a sacred space within each individual, each one of us, including myself, because I was there for 3.5 years and I'm still there with you. Expressing, extending beyond the walls of its sanctuary. So how you show up, how you give, how you receive is a miracle. Each one of us gives and receives so individually different, but yet collectively, we come together to pour forth the greater good for the development and the creation of our creation, and that is of self, individually, where two or more are gathered, I am. So we invoke within this community of Miracle Center this process of loving. And you know what that translates to? What that regenerates as? Simply that love grows here. And that we are invited, you are invited to invite others collectively to catch the gift. You see, because giving a miracle, showing and expressing, living each and every day is a miracle that we get to regenerate, that we get to call forth to become something new and wonderful. So slipping out of the doldrums when life has cast its shadows, whatever that is, it's our individual experience. I was reading something not too long ago that if we could value our varying experiences rather than attaching to our experiences as if woe is me, and if we could look at our experiences simply as a train of reactions that is constantly moving forward, that we would envision and see that the miracles are always pushing us forward. We are moving from one calamity to another. And it's why I often say, stop looking behind you. Kick it to the curb. Let it go. Release it. Be present now, knowing that there is another moment yet to come, that it is not death awaiting us, but it is simply life. So our next musical selection is sung by two sisters. And I was struck by the, oh gosh, I guess by the theme or the title of the song, You Raise Me Up, because I was feeling very spiritually led into the wording of it, because it expresses itself as a wisdom song. It is for us to know the who, the what we believe. You raise me up. Who is the you? It is that God's spirit within us that raises us individually through our storms. So the song is a reminder to persevere. And I read this as a quote. I'm not sure who said it, but to stand up, because if you can stand up, you can take the next step. If you can take the next step, you can take the one after that. So there's movement constantly. Who stops the movement is us in our unbelief. So the song itself is a message of hope, strength, and overcoming. Regenerative. It's regenerative. Maybe that's another name for God. It's regenerative. God is always there. It's always reshaping itself. So what I know is that within each of us, living spirit resides. It is life living. Life is eternal. Our living life is conditional. It's what we learn and live to grow through. So divine truth is always giving us strength in times when we feel weak. It is for each of us to digest belief, actually, and note and honor one's inner realization with dignity, strength, conviction, knowing the inspiration that moves through us is truth, revealing How many times do we attempt to take truth and reshape it, and it becomes untrue? And it is that untruth that we tend to agree with, that we find inspiration, maybe excitement, thrilling, whatever that is, but it's negative. It leaves us in a place of feeling unworthy and disresolved. So when we turn quietly, and I would dare to say quietly, because I think it is an inside job, that when we turn to truth, which is God speaking, and we have to listen. We have to listen closely. We have to allow that other stuff to just fall away and know that we are motivated by what is truly speaking to us as truth. We know that we have a direct pipeline to God, that God is speaking directly to us. And God calls each one of us by name. Our quest is our individual purpose, is to conquer all obstacles, beseeching each one of us. So remembering the promise, this too shall pass. So as I choose to wrap up this time together with you, I invite you to listen to the lyrics. Listen beyond the words being expressed, but listen within that inner sanctuary to feel the message. Yes, the words are golden and wonderful and beautiful, but to see what happens within you, to see where that itch is that you cannot scratch around your heart. The emotion is there, the feeling is there, and I invite each of us to trust that and allow God to raise us up. So, Miracle Tech Team, I turn it over to you so that we can watch and listen to You Raise Me Up by our beautiful sisters. Such a beautiful tribute, a tribute of that God speaking within each one of us. So I just invite us to contemplate the words that we have spoken today. I say we have spoken because I know my heart is filled, knowing that your hearts are filled. There's this inner communication that goes on between miracle, and maybe that is the miracle, that we need not be present, but we certainly love one another. We love the truth that is being shared, the truth that is being taught and caught. There's a regenerativity about life itself. So as we relax and move into this period of uplift, I'm just going to let God to speak through me at this very moment, being filled with the wisdom of the words that have been spoken, the wisdom meaning that it is more than the words themselves that have been spoken, but the feeling, the touchstones within our own being, within the heart and soul, that which Dr. Holmes knew so well, that brought us all into this teaching to know God, to make room for God, to forgive oneself, to forgive the elements that are about us, for they know not what they do other than to do what they know to do as best can. So as we move through this awareness of knowing that God and I are one, that the element of love is ever flowing, that it is ever present, that I have the responsibility to tap into it, to tap into my deeper sense of self, that my life, it lives within me, that it breathes me. It comes from the inside out. And I make that evaluation. And as it returns into me, I see and gloss it with love and faith and empowerment. For these are the seeds that are fertilized within me within each and every one of us, that seed our tears, that seed our growth, that seed our thinking, that seed our wisdom, that seed our ability to change our thinking, to change our thoughts, to appreciate and know the growth that God provides within each and every one of us. That seeds our self-forgiveness, for there is nothing to forgive. There is only the revelation that God is. So therefore, we move away from this place, as Pope Francis shared so meaningfully and so beautifully through the actions, his words, the wisdom of his words. Death is not. Life lives. The spirit of life continues. That spirit from which it is that has brought us into physical existence, that spirit that leaves and moves on to the greater existence through this passage that we call death. That we are alive. That we have the wisdom to appreciate and value the sense of purpose of who it is that we are. And we individually rise up. We rise up knowing that a change is going to come, and knowing that it is the self that is that change, that is wedded, that is regenerated by that living spirit of God itself that lives and breathes each and every one of us. And collectively, we are that appearance. We are that sense of love. We are that embracing change that is forever and ever and amen. And knowing that this is the truth, we allow ourselves to lovingly, convincingly, committedly affirm together. And so it is, knowing that God's got us and we are in God's hands, and that we live and move forth, go forth, that we raise up, because that's why we are here. And knowing this is true, if you are in agreement with my words, with my thoughts, with my actions, within my belief, let us affirm together as only miracle can. And so it is. Amen. Folks, that's it. That's it. So enjoy your day. Be the wonderful miracle that you are, representative together as Miracle Center. And here's our wonderful lady, our sunshine, our yellow blossom that fertilizes us all with her loving spirit. Fran, I turn it over to you, and thank you.
Oh, God bless you, and thank you for that hot message today. I needed a fan. It was so hot. Let's give her a big hand. And I needed that, as I'm sure most of you did. So thank you again, Reverend Leroy, for the wonderful message. At this time, the ushers will be taking collection. I don't see any visitors. Are you? This is not your first time here, Miss, is it? No? Okay. It's you I'm talking to. Look at around. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, Maggie. So let's give each other a great big hand. And I will benedict the service, and we will go forth with our day, with our week, knowing that we are surrounded with power and love through the Christ presence that is within us. So, Father, I give great thanks for this information. I give great thanks for this belief. I give great thanks for this understanding. God is all there is. And it is in this isness that marvelous, great, and wonderful things take place. So I just bless this week. I bless this day. I bless this weekend. I bless this week again, because I know that right where we are, God is. And that's the power, that's the joy, that's the love, and that's all there is. And if you're in agreement with these words that I have spoken, please affirm with me, and so it is. Thank you for joining us this morning as we circle up for our peace song. And we invite everyone over to the social hall. I believe that's what Arnie's saying. I can't hear from here. Or you want to say something, Arnie? You want to say?
There's produce in the social hall. If anybody wants it.
Okay, there's produce in the social hall. See, you got to come to church on Sunday. Never know what you'll get. Thank you for being here. God bless.